Welcome back to That's a Shame, everybody. We have a rarity going on here. I got a guest.
Big guest.
I've had one guest one other time, and I don't even think he has, 300 followers on his Instagram, so this is a big upgrade for us. You may recognize him from his extremely popular podcast, The Basement Yard, with his buddy Frankie Alvarez, right?
There you go.
And also just, the social media empire he's built in general. It's fucking, I might be out of frame here. Let me scoot closer to this guy. Have some of his good juju rub up on me. I need some.
We're just going to end up scissoring at the end of this.
Dude, I'm not even kidding. It felt like I was getting ready for a date today. Did you feel? Me and Joe have never met. We've only DM'd through mutual a couple of days, and I just took my shot.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you want to come to my home and fucking talk? It's like, it felt like what I used to do on, I was a big dating app guy back in the day.
Oh, yeah? Which ones?
And I would just, whatever ones downloaded. Yeah, Bumble, Tinder.
I
met my wife on Bumble.
On Bumble?
Oh, yeah. We were just, being a couple of whores.
What are you going to do? I only really got into Tinder
when
it first came out.
And that was in what? 2010?
I don't even know. But, I remember, I would go through phases where I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to set this to 35 to 55 and, just 10 miles. And just see what's gonna happen.
Yeah, and did you pull a couple of?
Absolutely not. That didn't
nothing.
Happen. But I mean, I didn't go meet anybody.
And also, Tinder in the early stages is like there's not
Wild
much.
West.
Yeah. And it's also the population of people on there was pretty limited.
Yeah, it was.
If you did that now, you'd pull a couple people.
Well, I'm sure there would be a bunch of bot hookers too.
That's true.
I would like to send you.
You know what I got
roses.
real good at from using apps so much? Spotting a trans person. Dude, because so many times I'm like, God damn, and then we started messaging, and they thankfully, let me know, and I was like,
by the way,
damn, I gotta, and then I got better, and then I stopped, we all like what we like. I'm not saying this is off to a dicey start already. I didn't mean to go fucking quasi.
Well, all right.
Joe's regretting coming over already. Yeah, dude, but it did. I felt like I was making coffee. Is he gonna like coffee? Should I get him some water?
Oh wow!
And then instead of banging, we're just doing a podcast, which is pretty much
just like the dude way of.
It's fucking for straight guys.
Exactly.
And this feels more intimate than sex, to be honest.
Yeah, because we have to stare at each other too. Yeah, you can have sex with someone and not even kiss them or look at them.
Yeah, it's way harder to hit the ball back and forth in convo than sex, dude.
You know what I mean? Especially with someone you never met before.
So difficult. Are we gonna be into the same things?
Well, we're gonna be into the same things. Hot start. Are we both not into trans people? I don't know if.
I'm into them existing, but not having sex with them, I feel like that's a pretty reasonable thing to say.
They're good for the earth, but just not for me.
Yeah, it's like bees. If you get rid of them, you start losing a bunch of other things.
Is that even true? I've heard that, where it's if the bees die, then it's not pollinating, and then there's no trees or something?
I think everything becomes the Sahara if the bees go away.
How are we relying on the bees that heavily?
They do. So me and my wife actually just bought property upstate, and we're learning how important bees are. We went to this place called Blue Hill at Stone Barns. It's like a farm-to-table. Have you been there?
No, but I fucking want to.
You're like a food person. I see you posting pictures of food.
Yeah, big time.
It's the best restaurant probably in New York.
Really?
It's a fortune, but it's
like $500-600 or something, right?
It depends
before you even get there.
Yeah, it depends what day of the week you go. It depends what sort of tasting menu you're getting involved in.
Okay.
But me and my wife actually got married there. That's how much we fucking like this place. Yeah. And then we got a nice $500 gift card to go there.
Uh-huh.
And the meal was still over $600-700
gift card, that takes care of a glass of wine.
That's the tip. Yeah, exactly. It's fucking nuts. But it is. I mean, I've had some good meals in my life. It's the best meal I've ever had.
Is that when you get to walk? It's like a tour too, right?
So you can do that. You can sign up for the whole tour tasting thing, and they'll show you where your fucking Brussels sprouts came from. That meal. I gotta
pick flowers. I heard something about picking flowers.
We didn't pick any flowers.
I don't know.
But we did for what did we do it for? I forget what we did for, but we went up there for a lunch, and then we did a tour to learn about the agricultural aspect, because we're going to try to do some shit upstate.
Yeah.
And that was they take you to their greenhouses, they show you their animals.
Nice.
It's wild what they're doing up there, and the food is it's fucking nuts.
I want to go.
Yeah, let's go, dude. Date number 2.
Dude, that would be fucking
nice.
would be one of the most intimate relationships you can have with a person.
Yeah, just the
first
podcast
time we met is
into
just
a $1,200 meal.
A podcast and then a fucking $2,000 bill. And a lot of wine.
So how do you even go about fucking dating? Because you have legitimate fame.
I mean, I don't.
You're not on the apps obviously anymore.
No,
you can't do that. Maybe Rye.
But I also think that's hard. Because I have my friends who are on the apps and they're constantly doing that. But I heard something the other day where they were like one of my friends has been on the apps for years, and he's I've been on maybe 7 dates.
That's that's his own choice. But I mean, does he look like the Hunchback of Notre Dame?
No, he's a good-looking guy too,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, that's crazy to me. And I wonder. And then I asked someone else, and they kind of said something similar, like, yeah, maybe like 10 or so dates. And I'm like, it's been years. Like, what is the point of this? And I feel like just being able to, like, I think you're kind of training yourself to see someone and be like, let me find something negative about this person. Fuck that.
And then to never do anything about it. Yeah, that's why you got to just meet at a bar.
Once that translates to real life, you're like, fuck everybody. Like, you're never gonna be fucking satisfied ever.
I know. That's why you have to just kind of be like, at least the way it worked for me was I was on them just kind of looking for physical stuff.
Right.
And then that's always worth meeting up for.
There you go.
And then after that happens, you're together, and then you might as well just give it a shot, and then you get to know each other, and you're like, oh shit, maybe I'll fucking have a kid.
I also like, if it's gonna be like a date or something, very rarely in my life have I been like a first date is like, let's go out to dinner or whatever. Like that has definitely happened, but like
normally it's what, come over immediately?
No, not like that. Like I would much rather be like in a group setting because I can't like.
See, that's difficult to do off the apps because
I
feel like that's good if like a friend is introducing you to somebody and then it's like she'll come with me, you'll come with your buddy.
I try to just take the pressure off the entire situation because I just want to know who this person actually is. I don't want to like have to be buttoned up and try to, whatever at like a fancy dinner or something that drives me nuts to be sitting here and like having a conversation that means nothing. Neither of us are being who we are right now. Like
you're trying to be the best version of yourself, obviously.
Like, I just want to know if we like each other or something, or if we like get together or something.
It's a tough. You're trying to skip almost an unskippable step, dude. You might be fucking. How'd you meet the girl that you just fell apart?
Well, that's actually what I was gonna say too. The girl who I was just with, the first we met. I saw her like on Instagram. She was friends with some girl that I knew. And then the first time that we hung out, I just like picked her up in my car and we like drove around, just like talked. Like we didn't like go and do anything. Like we just kind of did that. So just to see if.
So
and it was
literally
more like spontaneous. So exactly.
Literally, but in a car. Right?
I don't know where this is gonna go from here.
Podcast. We didn't record it, but it went fucking well.
Yeah, exactly. But it was like more spontaneous too. It wasn't like, oh, we'll hang out this day. It was kind of like, oh, what are you doing right now? And it's like, let's just like hang out.
Yeah.
So it's more chill.
All right, yeah, that was chill. All right, so yeah, you just got to start, I guess, DMing girls, being like, you down to hop in my car for a ride real quick.
As soon as Jennifer Aniston answers me, we'll get to it.
Have you been DMing Jennifer Aniston?
Absolutely. I did when she first joined fucking Instagram as a joke.
Really? I wrote, what year is that? You've been on the fucking socials since the beginning. Oh, what do you mean?
It was like 2 years ago.
Oh, she just got on.
Yeah, like she just got on Instagram, and I just went, coffee. Yeah.
And did she get a scene or anything?
Absolutely
nothing.
Not.
God,
I did it just to screenshot.
She's never opened that app. It's her entire team.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, God damn.
I just did it just so I could screenshot and send to my friends. I'm like, wait and see what's going on.
God,
just like fucking around.
She looks completely different than she did originally, but she's still so attractive.
Oh my God, I used to be obsessed with her. I went through a
who
big.
Wasn't? Yeah. The entire Monica too. It's the first time I'm seeing like hard nips in my fucking youth.
Dude,
every episode.
Consistently hard nips.
Always. They were
conspiracy that they were
on purpose.
Yeah.
Conspiracy. It's a fact. I feel like.
Well, no, just I mean, they were like just taping like fake nipples.
Oh, you don't even think it was their nipples?
Well, I don't know.
I just imagine. Oh, you don't know the facts, dude?
No, I may have made that up, but I think I've seen that.
Not in my eyes. I for years have just believed that what I imagine is some sort of like director.
Was like
the director of Hard Nips was like, here's an ice cube, go in the bathroom. It's about to be your scene.
Flick those around.
Yeah. You know what I mean? It's about to bump viewership 2 mil.
Stiffen them up and then come in.
Yeah. Nobody's tuning in for fucking Chandler. Although Chandler was a good looking dude in the beginning.
Yeah, the guy looks like he's melting now.
It's tough. Yeah, that entire reunion thing was one of the sadder things I've ever watched.
I never watched Friends all the way through.
I've seen every episode. It's not my favorite. It's a solid show. I hate people who are just like, it's corny and trash. I mean, that's sort of what.
The interesting about that show.
You're a Seinfeld guy. I see you posting Seinfeld.
I am a Seinfeld guy. It's like the show that I put on like in the background.
It's like a warm blanket, dude. Every day I'll just end my fucking day with it.
Like I'll just like it's just I don't know, and I don't even fucking like watch it now. Like it's just there.
Well, you just know. You could probably quote. Would you put your like Seinfeld knowledge up against a lot of people's knowledge? Like, probably. Are you that type of a fan?
I would, but like, not if I showed up to like a bar's trivia, which I actually like to do that.
Should we do some Seinfeld trivia right now? See who's got it.
I would love to. But if there was some
it's on the World Wide Web. We could do it.
The World Wide Web. I've heard that in years. It's on the www.com.
It is the http // ...
Yeah, exactly. But But I feel like if I showed up to a bar where they're doing like a trivia and the people that would show up there, like I would get washed because those people are
people
psychos.
who like left their home and drove there to win the cash prize.
Exactly. Or like that are just like
See, I
nuts.
think I would be confident that I could demolish all those people.
In Seinfeld trivia?
I know fucking everything, dude.
Wow.
I'm the big dude. I almost want to go get it. This is a gift. You want to see a gift my mom got me?
Absolutely.
For my birthday?
Yeah.
This is how big of a Seinfeld person I am.
I love this. Oh my god, it's amazing.
How good of a gift is that? I was so impressed with my mom when she showed up with that.
I love that.
Airbrush Costanza.
In the background. That's so good. I love that.
The best.
My brother one year on Christmas, he got me like a bunch of different Seinfeld things. Like
it's the best.
Like he got me like a marbled rye, and then like
hell yeah,
made a fusilli Joey. I don't know how the fuck. I don't know how he did it.
He made it himself.
He might have gotten help from like my sister or something, but like
but
it was
still,
yeah.
He didn't buy it off Etsy.
Nice. Yeah, no, he made it, and I was like, this is incredible.
What a brother, dude. This is what I grew up an only child, and sometimes I'm like, I think maybe I was affected by it, and then I hear shit like that where I was like, I definitely am. I didn't receive any sort of compassion, dude. Just alone and frustrated.
Yeah, I've been hugged like 8 times.
The only people I got to hang out with growing up were just fucking geriatrics. It's
geriatrics.
And it's funny. It's like, dude, whenever people find out I'm an only child, the way people react to, people hate only children.
Oh,
they think the assumption is that they're awful people.
I will. 100%, and I don't listen. If you're gonna go by the statistics,
maybe I am a terrible person, but
if you're gonna go by statistics, also like, I mean, I only know one. I think I know one only child.
Yeah,
don't like him.
Really? Who? No. Just growing up, you met him?
Yeah.
And what didn't you like about him? Just selfish.
Just like
uncaring.
You don't have anyone to be like, you're a fucking idiot. Yeah. You know, like I'm the youngest. So all my siblings are older than me.
Just beating you down all the time.
Constantly.
Yeah.
And it's like you can't get away with anything. And my oldest sibling is my brother, and he was always just like, you know, you can't get away with fucking anything. And he's 8 years older than me. So by the time he's like grown out of like the awkward teenage years, it's like, and now he's unforgiving. It's like, bro, let me go through it too.
I know. You didn't make any fucking mistakes, dude.
Like, fuck you.
I know. Yeah, sometimes, I feel if you're going to be an only child, it's good to have maybe parents who don't care about you that much, at least so it can ground you in one way. My mom was definitely way too nurturing.
Yeah.
My dad smashed my head into a dinner plate once, so I feel like maybe that
both
balanced
my parents
me
have
out.
done that to me.
Yeah. Would you tell them to shut the fuck up one time or something?
Absolutely not. I would never do that. That's insane. But like my parents, you know, just
you never did that?
No.
Really?
No, I never told my.
It might be a Long Island
thing. If I told
my
mom to shut up, dude.
Oh, I told my mom to shut up a bunch. I was a piece of shit.
My dad would fucking lose his mind.
That's what. I told. I literally remember it. I was at the dinner table. I was facing. My dad was at the fucking at the sink washing his plate. I was facing the other way. I told my mom to shut the fuck up.
Oh my fuck.
I told right in front of him, and my mom looked at my dad. He was like, "You're gonna let him talk to me that way?" And I looked at her. And I was like, "Of course he is. He doesn't care." And the next thing I knew, my head was bouncing off the fucking dinner plate. My mouth was bleeding, and I looked at him. I was like, if you ever do that to me again, I'm calling child services. And he was like, if you call child services, you better fucking dial 911 when you hang up, because you're going to need an ambulance.
I was too afraid to say that to my dad, too. I actually like thought about that. I was like, what if I called child services? One, didn't know the number. Two,
I don't know the number to this day.
Like, also, when I was a child, didn't have a computer. Like, I couldn't look it up.
Me either. I
don't know that I know it existed either.
Yeah. I think I just heard the term on like a TV show.
Knowing my dad too, he would beat me until they showed up, and then beat them when they showed up as well.
What is your full Italian?
In Irish.
Nice, me too, but I got Greek mixed in there.
My mom was pretty unforgiving too. She's very nurturing, especially now, but you know, back in the day, she was hard on us as well.
She was hard, yeah.
Dude, we had a fucking very flimsy bathroom door growing up, and I remember, you know, my brother Keith was the fucking worst because this kid was one of those people that when you yell at him or you hit him, he would laugh because he was just like in awkward situations, he like laughs or giggles or whatever.
Okay.
And this fucking kid, I forgot what he did, but he like was running away from her and she was chasing him. And then he ran into the bathroom and closed the door behind him, flimsy door, and she put her foot through it.
Amazing.
Through the bottom of the door. And like for like a month, it was just a
there was just
gaping
a hole in the
hole.
door. Anytime you took a dump, you had to
hang
a towel over something?
6 people in this house, 1 bathroom. That's how I grew up. Crazy.
That's insane.
6 people.
We had 3 with 1 bathroom, and that was intolerable.
Dude, it was bad.
Jesus, dude.
Yeah, and I was all synced up with my brother's
Queens
bowels.
You grew up in.
Yeah.
And did you go to school in Queens? Synced up with your brother?
Yeah, so like every time I had the shit, he was in there. I was like, bro.
Oh my God.
This is a joke.
Yeah, it's
here.
like a menstrual cycle.
Yeah, I know. It was insane. But yeah, I went to school not far from, like, I was like walking to school in like 4th grade. So like,
yeah, dude,
it wasn't far from my house. And then middle school, I had to take like a yellow bus, which was like still in Queens, but a little further, like in Corona. And then I went to Catholic high school after that.
So you finished off in Catholic high school?
Yeah.
Crazy. I did the opposite. I started in Catholic, and then at like 3rd grade, I bounced and went to public school.
Yeah.
Yeah, but dude, sometimes my wife grew up in the city in Manhattan, and I'll like hear her talk about her childhood, and I feel like I would have died immediately.
Yeah, dude.
If I grew up in Queens. I barely made it out of a white suburb on Long Island alive. I feel like the access to just like the opportunity for horrific shit to happen, it's too available.
Like I said, I was walking to school in like 4th grade. Like definitely 5th grade, I remember it. But like in 4th grade, I'm pretty sure I was walking to school. And now I'm thinking like, I remember telling my mom, like, what is wrong with you?
Dude, see,
why would you let me walk to school?
I had to beg my mom to let me walk. She never would have allowed that. I remember it was in 6th grade. My school was like very close, and I wanted to ride my bike to school. And she was like, the only way I'm letting you do that is if I can trail you in my car on the way there. And that's what we fucking did, dude. We did it so many times.
That's
just
amazing.
Insane. I was just, the whole time I was riding, I was like, nobody knows this is my mom following me. It's cool to do this.
We didn't have cell phones. And like, I remember during the summer, I would wake up at like fucking 7, go straight to the park. And my parents were like, you have to be home at 6:30 for dinner. And then I had to be home at 11 o'clock. Not in 4th grade, but like when I don't know, when
started
you're a teen or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was like that. Those were the 2 times I had to be home, and I would not be home otherwise.
Good for you.
Yeah, just always be out.
Dude, I caught my mom trailing me one time. I had just gotten my license. I was like 17. It was pouring out, and I'm like, I'm going to my friend. She's like, be careful when you get there. Drive absolutely nowhere else. And of course, the whole plan was to like go to my friends, pick him up, and then go get high immediately.
Right, yeah.
So I pick him up, we leave, and we're going to like pick up a cigar to roll a blunt with, and I'm looking in my rearview mirror. I see my fucking mom
like a PI
following me, dude. And I call her. I'm like, hey, Mom, what's going on? Just checking in on you. And she's like, I'm good. What are you up to? I'm like, nothing. What are you up to? And she's like, nothing. I'm home sitting in the living room. I was like, I can fucking see you. But I had like no real recourse because I was doing something I wasn't supposed to be doing. So it was kind of just a stalemate. We were both being pieces of shit.
Did you tell her though? Like I'm literally looking at you.
Yeah.
And what'd she
say? She denied it and then just hung up and kind of left. I think she yelled at me and told me to go back to his fucking house and then drove away. Yeah. Luckily, she didn't want to embarrass me in front of my friend, even though he knew exactly what was going on.
Yeah, no, my parents never fucking tailed me or anything like that.
Oh, I got tailed, yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah, my mom was like a fucking
My dad was like a psycho, though. My dad, like, I mean, actively is a psychopath. He, I told the story, like, recently on like, a podcast, but my dad...
Just pretend like you're doing it for the first time here?
Yeah, no, but
so
my
that's a shame exclusive.
My dad... he told this. I mean, I remember when we were younger. Like my brother, when he was in middle school, he went to a Catholic school, and he was like having trouble in school, but he was like studying really hard and all this stuff. And my dad had just had a soft spot for him, and they like called a meeting for him to go up to the school. And he was. It's literally paces away from an actual church. Like it's that kind of school, and it's like pre-K to 8th grade, young.
Right.
The teachers there, some of them are fucking nuns and shit.
Of course, yeah.
So he's had a meeting with like some nuns and like fucking the principal and whoever. And he told them, if I find out that you guys aren't treating my son fairly, I will get a gas can and does this and burn this place to the ground.
Oh my God.
To a bunch of nuns.
So your dad was in the mafia, obviously.
No, he's not.
So he's like, all talk? He's never burnt anything down with a gas.
Of course he's all talk. Like, we tell him that all the time. Like, yo,
people who mime gas tank,
dude.
Like, oh my God.
And he's like, I will burn this place to the ground.
Good for your dad, dude. You got to do it. I just had a kid, and you learn quickly that, like one of my friends tried to make a joke about my kid, and I've never been more mad in my entire fucking life. I've never not been able to take a joke in my existence. My friend fucking kind of took a shot at my kid, and I was like, I'll end your fucking life.
It's like, that's not
right
fucking
now.
funny, dude.
So, yeah. I totally get it. Your dad might not be in the mafia, but he probably would have burnt that fucking a bunch of those nuns down to the ground.
Oh yeah, he would have burned a couple nuns for sure. And then he also told a child once because he thought the kid next door was bullying him. Yeah. He said that he like pulled up on him in his van and was like, "I will cut you into a million pieces and throw you in the sewer."
Totally get it.
And then his dad knocked on our door and he's like, he's like, "Joe, what's wrong with you?" Like he's like,
"You felt like your kid needed a scare."
Yeah, he's like, "You can't say that to kids." Like, "What's wrong with you?" And my dad was just like,
It
guy's
is
nuts, dude.
Yeah, but dude, your dad could have been right. Nuns are fucking. My mom has so many stories about she went to a Catholic school her entire life, and about how brutal the nuns were to her. Like unbelievably. Like if you guys are all going to hell based on your behavior. I know 100%. You pretend to devote your life to the Lord, but one time my mom was my mom was like 4 and she remembers this vividly because of how scarring it was. It was like their first time to do confession, and they were in line to do everybody in the class. It was their first time to do confession, and they were in height order, and my mom was like the second shortest child of the class, and she was happy because all she wanted to do was see somebody go in and come out alive. She was terrified about going in there and have to do confession. Yeah, whatever it was. And then for some reason the fucking nun made my mom go first, even though she was the second shortest, and she went in there and vomited all over the fucking confessional because of how terrified and nervous she was.
And they probably like beat her too.
I'm sure they did. Yeah.
That's like an insane thing to me. Like our parents would go to school and the teachers would beat them with weapons.
And then they'd come home, tell their parents about it, and their parents would be like, "You probably deserved it."
And then they'd brag about it. Like when I was young, I'd be like, "Oh, when I was your age, the nuns were beating me." I was like, "Dad, if a teacher of mine hit me, like my second grade teacher hit me, I would pummel her if she
also
fucking
he would have went down there and threatened her life.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
She'd be dead already. She was an old bitch. I've never had any teacher that was like under 95.
Really?
They've all been old fuckers. Yeah.
Oh man, you never had like a hot teacher?
I actually did in 4th grade.
There's always a teacher you want to sleep with. I remember her name, Miss Aki.
Miss Aki.
English teacher.
Miss Adagnostos. When she got married.
Nice.
The one that got away, you know. I was in 4th grade.
I know. Teachers used to hit kids, and now it seems like they're banging them more often than hitting them, honestly.
Yeah.
Although I will say, it depends on what you're...
They're getting hit.
The teachers are getting hit. You've seen these videos on TikTok?
Disgusting.
First of all, if you're a teacher, don't take a kid's phone away because it's going to end in an assault from them on you.
Yeah.
Isn't it insane how addicted people are to their phones? There's children beating the shit out of teachers because they essentially take their drug from them. I've never seen kids did not fucking used to behave like this.
No, I mean I did see a kid hit a teacher once, and I don't condone that.
When you were in school?
Yeah, one of my friends, George. I mean, I'm not friends with him now, but like when I was young, my middle school was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Like my mom sent me to this.
Oh, that's why you went to the Catholic school.
No, this was before that.
Oh, okay.
So our zone school was like pretty bad. So and my sister had went there. So she's like, all right, I don't want him to go there. I want him to go to a different school. So she signed me up for the school that was like a magnet school.
No clue what
which
that
I
means.
don't know what that
Magnet
means.
School.
I think it means just like
they
a
just
bunch
teach
of
you
different
about magnets.
like,
you fucking Charlie Day.
Yeah, exactly. just magnets.
Just magnets. Magnets and milk steak.
Collecting magnets, or
just magnets. Yeah. Just the best show. New season just came out. Also, I'm so excited. Yeah, I'm gonna put snowboard.
Favorite food? Milk steak.
She'll know what
I'm not putting that.
She'll know what it is.
She'll know what it is.
God, the best show.
But yeah, so I went to this school, and I remember we had a substitute teacher, and then in the back of the class there was this big metal cabinet thing, and there was 3 shelves, and the 2 of these kids that I was friends with, one of them went to the middle shelf and went to the top shelf and like closed it, and they were like laughing or some shit, and the teacher just got fed up, and he's like, get out, get out, get out, and then eventually like one of them got out, and then the other kid was just like in the top shelf just being a dick.
Yeah.
And the teacher just grabbed him by his shirt and pulled him out, and he hit the ground, and the kid got up, socked him.
Really?
Old man, Mr. Gornick.
Oh my.
Rocked him in the face, ran out of the classroom, and I'm sitting there like, did that just happen?
Wow.
Did George just punch the teacher in the face?
How old of a teacher are we talking about?
At least 65.
That's not terribly old.
But like, I'm being nice.
And how old was he? The kid?
This was 8th grade.
Yeah, if you're 65, you should be able to beat up a 15-year-old, I feel like. No?
I mean, some of them are big. 65, he might have been 70.
I'm projecting. Me as a 15-year-old, you should be able to fucking murder. I think I weighed 90 pounds.
Yeah,
there were some people who went
when I
through
was
puberty
15 years
early.
old, I was just like fucking,
Dude,
like,
I
please
was
no one touch me.
so fucking tight. Did you get bullied at all? How small were you?
No, not at all. I never got bullied because I think it was because I was good at basketball.
Dude, sports will save you.
Yeah, I think
they will
that's,
save
like,
you from bullying. I got bullied, but I also did some bullying. That's how you got in with the popular kids. You had to be able to take them like emotionally abusing you, but then you had to also dish it out to other people and get a laugh from them that way. I remember I used to, in away games, and I played basketball as well. During away games, there was this kid, fucking Gary Dunn, I think, in like 8th grade. He was probably 6'4", but like 103 pounds, zero skill, only on the team because he was just a mammoth, like just so tall. But I mean, Wynn could have taken this kid down. There was no athleticism whatsoever. But I used to sit in the back of the bus and I would army crawl underneath every seat on the bus, and I would tie his shoe to the pole. It's like and then I'd shimmy back like 14. So I would come back, my shirt would be covered in just trash, just the dirtiest germ-filled fucking shirt of all time. But yeah, that was like how I got it off of me. But definitely got fucking bullied as well.
Yeah, no, I mean, I also like, this is a dramatic way of looking at it, but when I went to this school, it felt like, because there were kids, especially in 8th grade, that had been left, that like were held back numerous years. I remember when we first got there was this kid that I was terrified of, and he was in 8th grade. He may have been in 7th grade. His name was Jaquan, and I think he was like 16. Yeah. In like 7th grade, dude, or 8th grade, and I'm like, this kid is and he was nuts. Yeah. Like, I remember like it would just be like crazy shit. Like there was like floors, like different floors, obviously, and. They were like gangs. So like the second floor would come up to the third floor, and there would just be brawls like in between classes, just because you were on a different floor. Yeah. But I remember being like, all right, if I got into a lot of like fights too when I was in those years. That's actually another funny story, because I remember I got into a fight, and then this is when I was in like 8th grade, and then my assistant principal, I was in her office, and she was talking to me about like, you know, you've been in like a couple of fights and stuff, so they may send you to your zone school. And I was like crying, because like I loved this school, like I loved going to this school, and they were like, yeah, we're gonna have to have a meeting with your parents. Yeah. And my father was the one who was showing up, and he shows up for the meeting, and he like was double parked. He's not going to waste time looking for parking.
Of course not. I'm going to get
just, you know,
it's done immediately. I'll
get a ticket and then not pay that. Like, this is insane. But he like showed up, and he's like, yeah, I'm here to see Miss David. And they're like, yeah, it's going to be like 10, 15 minutes. And he's like, he just got in his car and he left. So they never had the meeting. And they were like, I guess you're staying in the school. Just stay, yeah. Yeah, and we never brought it up, never talked about it. That's a great lesson for me as a parent. Yeah, if your kid ever gets in trouble, just don't show up and do anything about it. And then what are they going to do? Treat it like a parking ticket. Treat it like a parking ticket in a different state. If you don't go back there. I'm just not going to pay that.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I'll be fine.
You guys are nuts, dude.
You want to know what my wife said to me? She was like, I told you were coming over. And she was like, show me who this guy is. So I pulled up you and Frankie's podcast. Yeah. And she was like, oh, I fucking love these guys. I see them all the time. And then one of her first comments to me was, their comment section on TikTok is so wholesome and like positive. Yeah. And I'm like, why are you saying that? And then I realized it's because she sees my comment section.
And they're like,
and she's like, can't believe, not even, oh, well, yeah, some of them are like, fuck this. I get it mauled viciously.
For what?
I don't know. I mean, I'll talk shit. Most of my personality is talking shit, complaining about stuff. So people are like, dude, you want to see one of the more recent ones that got me fucking, I couldn't even believe what I was reading. What the fuck is my goddamn phone? I think I have it memorized anyway, because it was bothering me so much. I made a video about female refs in the NBA. Yeah. And it was about how like the playoffs were happening, and they're not one female ref. Right. To be seen. So it was like, yeah, the NBA is all about fucking inclusivity, except for when it matters. Exactly. Yeah. So that's the bit. And then literally the first comment on the video is, it's like Nick with mad periods. Dude, I gotta get my phone. I gotta read this verbatim. It goes, Nick ... Using female has got to go. Female what? ? Female frog? Female plant? Describing women as females is a bit dehumanizing. No one ever says males. It's weird. We're women, that's all. Just women, thanks, rant over. Yeah. Nobody says males?
Dude.
Everybody says males every day, multiple times a day. Yeah. All the time.
But also I feel like these people only exist online.
I know, but why is there so many on my page? And why do I only focus on that? Because here's like, I mean, I have another. This is actually the worst one. I'll go into this. Is I did a bit, crucify me if you want, about domestic, kind of like I found out my wife is in an abusive relationship before she was to get married to me. So I'll tell the bit on here so people know what I'm talking about. The bit was like, I'm glad she was comfortable enough with me to share that information, but it kind of changed, a little bit of something to me, because anytime we got in arguments or she asked me to do something and I forget, like while she was yelling at me, I always kind of wanted to be like, but at least I don't hit you.
Right.
I understand I forgot to buy toilet paper, but I could be blacked out throwing haymakers.
Yeah.
So that's a bit. And it's going like crazy viral on TikTok. It has, like hundreds of thousands of likes, but it has like, 1,000 comments from like violently angry white women. And that's all I'm focusing on. And they fucking found my Instagram. They found my wife's Instagram. They started DMing my wife and commenting on pictures of me, her, and like my brand new kid, being like, leave this dude. If he's willing to joke about it, he's willing to do it. And it's like, am I wrong, or is that the least true statement of all? If he's willing to joke about it, he's willing to do it.
Of course that is insane.
Bill Cosby was raping women.
Yeah.
And instead of talking about it, he was the cleanest comic that's ever existed on the face.
Right.
Nobody is a pedophile and then goes on stage and talks about banging women. That's not happening, dude.
Yeah.
It's not true. If he's willing to joke about it, I would never fucking hit my wife. It's a fucking joke. That she's fine with, by the way. Had zero problem with it. And I tried to get her what I wanted. My response to all that being, and now that we have like baby monitors fucking set up everywhere, I wanted to stage a fake fight where she beats the shit out of me and sends it to all. No, not me. That would have been horrific. But
I'm really gonna lean into this.
She beats the shit out of me, and then she sends it to all the people who were fucking DMing her, being like, "I'm the one who knocks," something like that.
I'm the one who knocks. I love that.
But she's not. She wouldn't do it because she's not committed to the craft.
She's not committed to the bit. It's unbelievable. But I feel like
Did you ever have to deal with negative comments?
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, like, I think the reason why people like
you and Frankie are very wholesome.
It's more silly than anything.
That's what it is. Yeah,
And we've gotten into like certain like conversations, like also like the gay community like loves us, but we've also like done we had a whole segment where we were talking about like the like drag queens in schools reading books to kids or something.
Okay, yeah.
And it's like people were really upset about that because they were like, you're pushing this thing that doesn't exist, or it could be hurtful. Like people could die because of this, and it's like,
who, the kids or the drag queens?
I don't know. Like the drag queens, I guess.
Okay.
But like, so like that happens, but I think the advantage that I have, at least, whatever, is like we're very candid about it could be wrong, like could be totally off on this, and whatever. And I've been doing this long enough that I think people know kind of like where my head is at.
You're not like a mean-spirited dude.
Like where my intentions are.
Right,
it's like, bro, I'm not trying to like
yeah, you guys,
like, I'm never edgy for the sake of being edgy.
Yeah, maybe that's my problem. People think that's what I'm doing. They just don't know me, and this is who I am.
And like I've seen comedians that I've loved turn into that.
Yeah,
because of like the last few years where it's like,
it seems like you have to lean a certain way in order to garner any type of
at
least get accepted into the industry. And if you don't get accepted into the industry, then other people tend to lean hard to the right. There's a comedian I have in mind. I don't want to say his fucking name, but he's like, that was, I feel like I am being true to myself, but it happens to kind of upset people.
And that's fine. Because like, of course that's going to happen.
Yeah.
And like, it is fucking like, and that's the thing. I don't know why we get that sort of treatment, because if you watch the entire podcast, it's not just like this happy-go-lucky thing. Like, we definitely get into it. And
I've watched a good amount of your episodes.
Yeah, and like it happens, but it's like it's also not me. Like I said, I don't get edgy for the sake of being edgy, but I also am not like the most PC person in the world.
Yeah, you guys curse, you guys venture off. Like, you're not going to talk about the drag queen thing.
Bro, like,
if you were that dude, you would have been like, don't bring up the drag queen fucking turmoil right now. We're not going to get into it.
But, and also I think that especially in like the world of comedy, like there was like, I feel like comics had to make a decision. It's like, you're either going to be edgy, or if you're not going to be edgy, even if you're not being like super PC and buttoned up, you're a fucking bitch. And like, you've chosen this, and you're like, you're just doing this because you're following the media and whatever. It's like, bro, I actually am just a person who like I don't like upsetting people.
I know.
Like,
Like,
why can't I just be that?
I know, and it feels bad when you do upset. But like, it's never my fucking goal. I feel awful if somebody like actually hits me with a comment that makes me become introspective and think about, oh fuck, maybe that was wrong. I feel fucking terrible, dude. I'm like, that's another problem with like I do all my shit solo. I feel like if I had a friend there to be like, it makes everything more palatable a little bit. Instead, I'm just a lunatic yelling about female refs with nobody to fucking curb
into the void.
Yeah, it is. Everything, yeah. Well, that's tough. I gotta find a podcast, though. I gotta find a real friend, you know.
But it is you know. But I do think that like there are people who leave comments and I see them and it's like these people are just like, you know, they only exist online. Like no one's doing that. They really do.
I know. No, they don't come out to the show and like, you know, scream epithets at you.
Also,
shit.
I wish they would. Like,
yeah,
you know, like that would be like, oh, well, because you're going to lose in person.
Right, because then if the like ratio was to attack the comment ratio, you guys would get annihilated.
Right. Like people are just having a good time.
I know,
and you're
but
like
it's just
trying to ruin.
It's so disappointing the way the human mind works, where it's like I'll literally focus on 7 negative comments out of like thousands of people being like, "This was enjoyable."
I honestly like I for whatever reason I never really did that. You're good. I never really focused on like the negative. If you see these like comments from accounts that don't have a picture and their name is like user one to blah blah blah, it's like these people in my head just desperately want to feel like seen or part of a thing. And
or they're just like genuine schizophrenics who like log into different accounts when they're feeling a certain way. Like they have their profile with a picture when they're like, I'm just going to take part in society like a normal person. And then we're like, when they're ramping up, they go to the no logo fucking
Do you
Instagram.
know that like I was part of a big
scam, social media scam?
Like federal
what?
Like crime thing.
What do you mean?
Like when I forgot when this was, but my friend one day called me and he's like, "Yo, I just got a call from this woman who said she's like in the Canadian FBI and she's like looking for you." And I was like, "Well, that's just fake. Like, what the fuck? Like, I've never been to Canada or like whatever at this point." And I was just like, "Just forget it." And then I get a phone call and I pick it up and it's like someone asking for me and I was just like, "What the?" So I just hang up.
Yeah.
Then my house phone rings and my dad picks it up and I just hear him go, "Joe." So I come upstairs. And I'm talking to this woman, and she's like, yeah, you know, something about me being the victim of a crime or blah, blah, blah. It was this whole thing. I had to go into the city and go to, like, the Canadian fucking...
Embassy or some shit?
Embassy, yeah. I was going to say ambassador. But, like, the embassy.
It's close. This guy works in the embassy.
Ass is in there. 2 asses. But I had to go there and have an interview with these people. They were working for the FBI, and apparently there was a girl who was in Canada, and she was using my photos to extort an underage girl. And the underage girl was like sending nude photos, she was like selling her parents' jewelry to send this person money, but they were using my face.
They thought it was you.
Yeah, so like that was just one part
of it.
This girl
was like, Joe Santagato's into me.
Do you remember? But no, it wasn't my name. It was some other name. But it was my photos.
Oh, okay.
So, and do you remember Chris Anderson, the Birdman from fucking on the Miami Heat?
Yes.
What all the tattoos?
Tatted.
So that guy.
This guy's also involved in this story.
He and some other girl she's like engaged to the dude who made who's the guy who sings American Pie? Don, whatever the fuck his name.
Couldn't fucking tell you.
Random. But like these 2 people were involved too. And
my God,
she made fake profiles of those 2 people and then were catfishing both ways for them and extorting each other for money and all this shit. And then told Birdman like, "Oh, I'm underage for this girl." So he had to like give all his shit. So it became this big case that I was involved in.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
dude.
and there was a 2020 on it, and they flashed like I wasn't like the high profile part of it.
Right.
Obviously.
Yeah.
So like
it was the American Pie guy probably got the lead in that one.
Well, no, that was later on. But like Birdman was in it, and it was like this dude was fucked. Like lost sponsorships and this and that because there was like this underage thing going on. He had to turn over everything.
Damn.
He ended up not doing anything wrong. Like. You know, in the thing, to my understanding, but it was fucking crazy.
That's
so it's
insane.
like, and it was this girl in Canada that.
Did you ever get to meet the girl?
No, I've seen her.
Is she like a younger chick who was doing it, or an older one?
She looks young, but she's old. She's like, she was like 37, and I was like 20.
Crazy.
So it was like weird, and yeah, it was just like insane. And this whole thing fucking happened, and it was like the most terrifying thing, because I remember going in to this thing. I didn't even tell my parents that I was going there, because I was like scared. Like I was thinking in my head, like, are they just gonna get me there so they could arrest me?
Actually, that's insane that you didn't tell. I would have told I would have like, I might be leaving forever right now.
Yeah, I was just terrified. I'm gonna get extradited.
Can you please help me? Yeah, I wouldn't have trusted myself to deal with that situation alone at all.
Dude, it was freaky.
I'm about to be arrested for fucking child.
And she was sending shit, because I had a PO box back then.
Yeah.
And she was talking to me as her.
Yeah.
But I didn't know how old she was, because she was pretending to be like someone who was like my age or something, or like a couple years older or something. And she was like, oh yeah, my dad works for Apple or whatever. And she would send me pictures of like all these iPhones. She's like, I'll send you one. And I was like, you don't have to do that.
So the girl who's using your photo to catfish other people
is talking to me as her.
What the fuck?
And she sent me an iPhone. I used it for 2 years, dude. Like, it was a brand new fucking iPhone.
Oh my god. It's probably encrypted with a bunch of shit.
Another thing with that PO box, actually. One day, and this is like a thing that happened. It wasn't catfish. Well, technically, I show up to collect shit from my PO box, and there's a edible arrangements, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, obviously, I'm not eating fruit in the mail.
Yeah.
So I
just old hot fucking
like
fruit.
Fuck? Old mango on
Underwear.
a stick.
Yeah.
And there's a letter.
Okay.
So I start reading the letter. I'm like, who's this from? And then I quickly realized, like, oh, this must be someone I know, because they're saying like, or I thought it was an ex-girlfriend or something.
Yeah.
Because I was
intimate information.
Yeah, it was like, we haven't spoken in a long time, but I just want you to know I still care about you, and I just wanted to blah blah. It was like 4 pages back and front. And I got to the 3rd page. That's how far I got without realizing this. But I got to the 3rd page, and then there was like this sentence where it was like, I know, like, I'm seeing other guys. I know you're probably seeing other guys. And I was like, wait.
Other guys?
Wait, what? I was like, what is this?
Not only is she using your image to fucking catfish young women, she's assuming you're gay the entire time.
So this is a completely different thing. I get at the end, the guy's name was like fucking
I wasn't remembering. Okay.
So I go on Facebook to find his name.
Guys
Yeah, I go to find his name, and I see it, and then I read the rest of the thing. This guy was in a relationship with someone who was using my photos as me. He thought it was me.
Jesus, dude.
I send him a message, and I go, hey, man, it's Joe.
Yeah.
This is my actual account. You can see, and, whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, someone is using my photos, and I'm sorry to tell you this, but they're catfishing you, and, I got this stuff in my P.O. box. I just want to let you know so that, and I'm sorry for whatever. Guy was like, you don't have to lie to me. You don't have to lie.
He thought that was your exit strategy.
Yeah, like that I was like on the down low. I was like, no.
He thought you were hiding your gay card. You weren't out of the closet yet.
Yeah, it's like, bro, you're sending me edible arrangements.
Oh my
this is next level gay.
Dude,
like,
this is insane.
And I was just like, no, dude, it's not me. And he's like, okay. And I'm like, I'm telling you the truth. You're not in a relationship with me, dude. I don't have to tell you.
I hate to break it to you.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I just found out about you existing. Man, you got a little bit more juice in you?
Yeah, whatever you need.
Yeah, I think maybe we'll go a little bit longer. Actually, we're over an hour.
Like the art.
Maybe I'll exploit you and throw you on the Patreon a little bit. What do you?
Wow.
It's actually, dude, are you a weed smoker at all?
Yeah.
You do smoke weed?
Not a ton, but yeah.
Dude, I got high yesterday for the first time in so long. I feel horrible still today. I feel
Really?
I hate being high, but I had a little bit too much to drink. And the only thing, like, I felt like I was going to puke. And my entire life, like, the best remedy for, like, hangover nausea has just been smoking weed. Yeah. So I'll sacrifice the feeling of getting high for the not puking. And my wife will smoke. And I rolled the smallest fucking joint and smoked half of it. And I couldn't believe what planet I was on. I felt...
When was the last time you smoked before that?
Years. It's been years.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, I don't have to puke anymore, but I need to find a way to pass this time because this is awful. So I started watching TikTok, and I couldn't watch humans do anything. I was like, everything every person is doing is making me so uncomfortable. Yeah. It feels like fake and performative. And then I threw on Animal Planet, and I was like, all right, I can watch fish do stuff.
Yes.
And then, dude, I was like sitting in front of the TV, but I caught myself like not even watching the TV. I was just counting inside of my head really fast.
Counting?
I was just going like 43, 45, 46, 47, 48, 48, and I caught myself. I was like, what the fuck am I doing, dude? And it was 2 p.m. I was like, I just got in bed and went to sleep until like 5. That was the only way to. I could not fucking handle the way.
43, 45.
I was just rapid fire. I was like, what am I counting to, and how did I get to the mid 40s? I don't remember the beginning of any of this.
That's incredible.
And now I'm like still quasi like in that fog. I'm like fogged up. It's weird.
Damn.
God, I hate it. I don't know how people. My wife will like she stopped because we just had a kid like 6 months ago. She didn't smoke. She was a big pothead, and then she didn't smoke for like literally over a year, and she just went cold turkey, and she just started getting high a little bit for the first time at night. And I'm like, I don't know how do you do anything, dude? She becomes like more efficient when she gets high, and I'm like, I can't function.
Become a mathematician.
I do not just.
She's gonna walk out and be right on the walls.
I think and shit. Beautiful mind. I get high, but I don't know what any of it means. Yeah. I can't believe people
Sylvia.
Fucking. Who is Pepe Sylvia? Not only do all these people exist, but they're talking about how they haven't gotten their mail for days.
Oh my god.
I don't know how people do it, man. I can't.
You know what I've been watching recently? Like the other day, I went out with a couple of friends and we like had some drinks and shit. And we went back to his apartment, and then we smoked. And then we're sitting on the couch, and then
maybe if I was with people, I'd be like friends. I'd be better. If alone is just worse, maybe. I don't know.
But like he was like scrolling on like Apple TV to try and find something, and I was like, dude, put on Prehistoric Planet. That show is unbelievable.
What is that on?
It's like Animal Planet, but it's all animated, and it's fucking dinosaurs.
Oh, that would probably blow my mind.
And like I haven't even thought about dinosaurs in 20 years.
Never. And they are the craziest thing.
Bro, also velociraptors, they don't look the way that you think.
Oh, really?
They are like, they're feathered.
What? I thought they were like lizard birds.
That's it. I thought they were just like small T-Rexes that were fast as shit.
Oh, okay.
But like in the Jurassic Park movie, but like they don't.
Wait, do they not
like
have?
That.
Oh, I'm thinking of a pterodactyl.
Those are the ones that fly.
Yeah.
But like,
I should watch this show. I need some learning.
No, do you remember the original Jurassic Park?
Yeah.
When they're in the fucking like kitchen or whatever.
Yeah.
And like those, I'm pretty sure they were saying those were velociraptors.
Yeah,
they
just
look
small.
Nothing like that.
Wow.
And they're not that big. Those are fucking huge compared to what they actually are.
What are they? The size of a
They're
rabbit?
like, I mean,
dog?
I don't know. I didn't look up like how big they were, but like I remember watching that movie and then seeing him at like on that show, and I was just like, this is what fucking velociraptors.
Did you find yourself not being intimidated by them? If like one rolled up, would you not be worried?
I remember thinking like, I wish these were real, but like not the big ones. The T-Rexes and shit. Like
no, that would be.
I can do it out that because they're like 12 feet tall and they're like fucking 10,000 pounds or some shit.
Yeah, we
like
wouldn't have advanced
the
too far.
dumbest hands, dude. Like
it really
the hands
is upsetting.
are way dumber than like depicted.
Dumber,
like
not even small, like
in
no
Jurassic Park,
fine
like
motor
small
skills.
Hands, like they're disgusting looking in this show.
Really?
Yeah,
I
they
gotta
look
check
like
it out.
a baby's hands.
That whole shit, anything with animals is fascinating. I'll also watch Animal Planet and be like, these are dinosaurs. Like the shit that lives in the ocean, it's like people are like, are aliens real or not? I'm like, well, they are and they're here.
They're right there.
It's insane. I mean, they're glowing and like, dude, I saw a video on TikTok the other day of some dude had like a worm on his hand, and then it shot a web out that like extended everywhere. It was the fucking craziest thing I've ever seen.
Yes.
And I was like, one, this dude's fine with this happening on his hand.
Disgusting.
That's insane. And also,
kind of gay, dude. Thing came all over you. Dude.
It fucking blasted a load all over your wrist. But it looked like a worm Spider-Man.
I actually saw a TikTok also where it was like in Japan or something. There was
There's all types of weird stuff going on. You ever see mukbang, dude? I just discovered what mukbang. Of course. All right, tell your shit, and then I'll get into mukbang because that shit's driving me nuts.
It reminded me of what you just said with with like the web or whatever the cum that it was shooting all over this guy's hand.
A literal worm cum shot.
There was a thing. I forgot. I'm gonna tell this like horribly, but there was like an animal that did something similar to that, and then they like put it on this like model of the city or whatever the fuck, and like let it do that thing, and because of whatever, it like created a fucking like subway system where it was all connected, and it was like the way that I don't know how the fuck it is. Like there's a video.
Like it created a colony for its species.
No, like it like so they like laid this thing on top of a picture of like the city, like some city in like Japan or something.
Okay.
And then they let it like do whatever, or it was like a maze or something, and then it created what they used as like their subway system or something. Like it was like perfectly.
Oh,
like,
what?
Yeah.
It mimicked the city's subway thing.
Well, it created one.
Oh my.
So they were like, oh, we'll build it like this, I don't know if it's real or not, but
so
I saw it. I was
what
like,
you're
bro,
saying is like their engineers are about to lose their, or whoever designed subways,
to a little
and
fucking worm.
To a worm is about to.
I have to find it. Like,
Please,
if
because
find
that was
it, it's
very
like,
difficult to understand. What the hell you're doing?
no, it's just.
But now that I do, it's like you just lay a worm on top of a map, and it does like city engineering.
Yeah, it was insane. I was like, what the fuck is
That's
this?
crazy.
There's no way I'm gonna find this thing.
But-
Fuck you.
Yeah. While you find it, I'll talk about
I'm not gonna find it.
mukbang. I've never. I was doing a gig on the road, and we were driving back with these other comics, and this chick's talking to me about how she listens to mukbang to go to bed.
Oh my god.
It's like
Disgusting.
mouth ASMR, and I had no idea what it was. I was like, please pull it up and show me. And it's just like this Korean woman like loudly eating red foods, like a lobster covered in tomato. I was like, for some reason, red was like red also added to the experience, I guess. And I'm like, dude, when did we navigate from fucking? You used to shame people who chewed with their mouth open and sloppily and I'm like, this is what you need to fall asleep.
Millionaires, dude.
Have yourself committed, bro.
They're millionaires.
Who's the millionaires needed to fall asleep? Oh, the mukbang, the people doing the mukbang, yeah.
Yeah.
But there's this many people in the world who get comfort from people chewing with their mouth open.
Apparently, dude.
I don't understand it.
And I can't like.
God, the internet.
I have said this before.
Yeah.
And whatever, but like, that legitimately disgusts me, especially when, because there's a specific person who I'm not gonna say their name, but they're a YouTuber and they do that sort of thing, like these eating challenges or whatever. They're extremely overweight, extremely, and they eat like burgers and like Takis and like spaghetti and like all these things. Like, it's so much, and like I am legitimately repulsed by it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this person's dying, like killing themselves.
We're watching somebody commit slow suicide. Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
And people are like enjoying it. Or
Yes.
it's like, oh, this helps me sleep.
Do
It's
this
like,
food next time.
This food's dying.
I know. You just can't.
You know
You
what
can barely
would
breathe.
help me go to sleep?
Somebody's
The sounds of someone slowly passing away.
Yeah, the sound of somebody's arteries clogging
It's
is getting me
insane,
into a
dude.
deep REM cycle.
It's wild. And I'm also very impressed by some of these tiny Asian women
They
can
can get
just
their mouth-
put away
I
4
know.
squid.
They got the squid.
It's insane.
It's just like, it's like, first of all, I've never seen squid in a store this readily available, like the ones that they eat. It's like the tentacles. Usually you get some calamari, you get the tentacles and the seafood. They're like whole squids.
I have a
That
hard
they're
time
just-
finding bananas at certain fucking supermarkets. These people are finding
Fucking New York City.
full squid.
Squids. Yeah. I
Full
know.
octopus.
And I feel like they're eating them raw too.
Yeah, just crushing them.
They look uncooked.
Dipping them in something.
You don't
and
get
then
the noise if it's cooked. The noise that you want comes from a slimy, uncooked squid. Disgusting.
It's really bad. Also, some of it's like graphic, where they cut its head off and like.
It's still alive and shit. Yeah. You watch it. Yeah, dude, I think that's when you like cut it, the squid loses all of its color. Like something weird happens.
Yes,
and then
something
they
like that.
ingest it. Yeah.
Not for me. I'm all set.
Not
on
for
that.
me. All right. I think I've held you hostage long enough. I really appreciate you coming here and doing this, bro.
I had a good time.
It was a good time. Hopefully everything's recorded and we have everything. If not, this will probably be the last attempt at a YouTube
Hopefully everything's recorded.
fan-based career I've had. Yeah, this is very low-quality production. I don't have a team of people like Joe Santagato. I don't have 1 million followers like most people do, according to him. But, yeah, dude, really, thanks a lot, man. Great meeting you.
Appreciate it.
Peace.